Gemini, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are doing a bit of a general reading, just looking into sort of what's going on around you at the moment, before we head into the August readings next week. So keep an eye out for those next week. We will be delving into what's happening for August. I have just uploaded that shadow work video for the full moon, so make sure you check that one out. It's actually a very sort of very positive, uplifting shadow work reading, so I do highly recommend that one for everyone who hasn't seen that yet. But today, please subscribe to the channel as well, guys. I do really appreciate that support. It really does help me keep the channel going, being such a small, non-monetized channel. But today I've got the Inner Child Oracle here. I have a new Lenormand deck. We have the modern Lenormand deck here. I'll show you that one up a bit closer. As well as the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels Love Oracle. Okay, so getting a bit of a general sort of idea of what's going on for you, delving into things as we need. We do have our little guest of honor here with us today. If he decides to stick around, he's been in a bit of a weird mood today. It is winter here in Australia, so to be honest, he probably should be asleep, but it's been a weird one this year for him. He's not showing any signs of wanting to go back to sleep at all. He slept for maybe a week, but it's not normal. He should really be asleep right now, but he's hanging out with us instead. Okay, Gemini, what's going on for Gemini at the moment? What does Gemini need to know, please? Looking at a bit of affirmation energy here with these for you, Gemini. Firstly, we have belonging. Okay, so that one does talk about family. All right, it does specifically have the word family here and belonging. So it does talk about your sense of belonging within the family unit. Whatever family is to you, family sometimes is a lot more than just, those blood relatives or whatever. Quite often it does show through, romantic partnerships, as well as platonic, friends and family, and co-workers even sometimes. So we'll see what comes out with that. I will need to delve a little bit into that, but it does sort of just feel as though your sense of belonging at the forefront for you at the moment. Do I belong? Where exactly do I belong? How exactly do I belong? Am I the black sheep here, or what's going on? It does say on, these cards do have a little affirmation on the back of those. This one does say, I am true to myself and loved as I am. So you belong to, you belong regardless of whether you feel that way or not. You're true to yourself and loved just the way that you are. Okay, you do belong in, and if you're not feeling as though you belong, it's finding that family that you do belong to. We also have be studious. I welcome new ideas. Okay, so this is, you can obviously see the bunny has stayed up studying all night long. He's fallen asleep studying here. This does let us know that it's all about making sure we are paying attention to doing our research for things, putting in our getting as much knowledge as we can with the things going on around us, making sure we do sort of, learn what we need to learn, do the research. If you do need to research something, ask the questions. Don't be shy to look things up at this time. But we'll delve into this a little bit here for you. Gemini, what's going on with Gemini and this family energy, please? This belonging energy for Gemini. Yeah, so we are seeing the tree and then the ring coming through here, Gemini. So it really does talk about your sense of belonging within your own self, like whether you feel as though you belong in these relationships, how you feel as though you connect to people in these relationships, how you do, strengthening family relationships, strengthening that sense of self within those relationships. What do you bring to the table in these relationships, and how can you cooperate within these relationships a little bit more? It does talk about, growth and expansion as well with that tree energy, looking after oneself, your natural environment. So for some of you, we do sort of see things like, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, even for some of you, taking a little bit more care of those familial relationships. I am sort of picking up strongly there that, how we cooperate and strengthen those relationships is seeming to be very important to you at the moment here, Gemini. Be studious. What's going on for Gemini with the studious energy? Yes, he's moved. Pardon me. We do see the moon. Okay, so this is actually showing me, especially in this particular deck, the moon in this deck does talk a little bit more reference to career. Okay, success, fame, night, your dreams, your subconscious. It's all, standard sort of reading would be, your intuition, using your intuition wisely, your subconscious wisely, using your emotional intelligence to factor in things. So we do see though that for a lot of you, this may be to do with your career. And having this sense of, how do I get successful, and reminding yourself that you do need to follow your intuition and listen to your emotional component here, when it does talk about, wanting that success within your career. How can you sort of, especially with new beginnings getting stirred up for you, because we do have the stork coming through as well. So the stork really does stir things up, and it comes up with brand new ideas. So, not only are we seeing the little phrase on the back of that, be studious, I welcome new ideas. This right here, the stork, is the card of new ideas being stirred up for you as well. New beginnings, flexibility, changeability, and movement happening with that stork, and movement in the sense of, new ideas being generated for you here. So for some of you, you may be, thinking about relocating jobs, having an idea that, maybe if I change this about the way that I'm working here as well. So it may not be an actual job change. It may just be changing the way you're doing things within your job, changing the way changing your approach to your career, and how do you actually want to achieve success here with this. So I do really feel as though for a lot of you, you are entering into this period where, it's idea generation really strong for you at the moment, especially within your career and work kind of stuff, coming up with brand new ideas. You may be, even I'm picking up here that there may even be somebody who's like, inventing new things, new processes, new ways of doing things in the workplace, new, what am I hearing there? It's like the procedures and rules, new like putting new things into practice within the workplace here. So definitely could be, leading you to more success within the career at this time. Also following your intuition with those new ideas. Every new idea that you have, all these new beginnings that you're finding within your career, really following those at the moment, and leading you to some positive sort of energy there. Definitely looking like a good sort of energy for you here, Gemini. Any general advice for Gemini at this time? Any general advice for Gemini at this time? We have the sun and the lily. Okay, so the sun is where you're studying those things. If you are coming up with those new ideas, you are sort of, doing your research to back yourself up with those new ideas. Is this really, a good idea? Is this going to work? Is this something that's already in existence? Can I, utilize that or this to help me with this process? All those sorts of things. But overall, this is following your guidance and seeking happiness. However that is, once again, with the sun here shining bright, heading towards that success that you're wanting, a lot of happiness in the advice for you, focusing on optimism and your general happiness at the moment, especially what's going to make you happy in the long term. We have the lily coming through there, okay, which is all about long term energy. Okay, it can be about power dynamics and power relationships, your sense of intimacy, your emotional component once again coming through here, listening to where your emotions are sort of guiding you, and being very intimate with the truth of what your emotions are telling you, where your intuition is guiding you, being very honest and open with yourself, and kind to yourself, especially when it comes to your long-term goals here, and the happiness that you want to see in your life long term. Really paying attention to long-term goals and happiness, and goals with your happiness, here at the moment, Gemini, seems to be the advice for you. Staying optimistic about the future, staying optimistic about where you're going to be in 10, 20 years from now, where that success is taking you. Okay, but we'll have a look at love as well. What's going on for Gemini with love? What does Gemini need to know in regards to love, please? Okay, so straight away we definitely see that being backed up with that finances and career card coming through. It does say financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So it's kind of just letting me know that whatever's going on with your career here, the new ideas, the new beginnings that you're having within your work, your career at the moment are kind of taking precedence for you, over, romantic love in your life at the moment. It's time to pay a little bit more attention to the career, where you're going with that, rather than worrying too much about the love stuff at this time. But we do see religious factors as well as attraction. So there is definitely some love energy coming through here. The religious factors does let us know that your love life is being influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. So for some of you, you may be finding that we're just having it does just feel like a little bit of a conflict of interest between you and somebody in the love stuff, when it comes to belief systems, the way that you were raised maybe to believe certain things, not believe other things. It may just be in a little bit of opposition to what somebody else believes, and that sort of a thing. I'm kind of picking up here that for a lot of the time too, when I do see this card, it's not necessarily just religion. Okay, it can talk about old traditional type values as well. So if you consider yourself somebody who is more traditionalist in your values, like when it comes to love, if you're someone who is looking towards moving towards marriage and those sorts of things, and swap it as necessary, it's just showing me that there may be a little bit of you know you may both have different ideals, different values when it comes to the more traditional stuff as well. So, somebody may want to get married, whereas the other one is just happy to how things are, and sort of having just that in the just a little bit of opposition. But these things can always be overcome and compromised on, of course. It is just showing that at the moment there is just a little bit of opposition going on for you in love with that sort of stuff, the values, whether it be religious values, traditional values, all that sort of thing. And I'm picking up here roles. Okay, so I am picking up for someone here, it may be gender roles as well. Okay, so if you're a feminine and you're really focusing on your finances and career at this time, that may actually be what's it's telling me that may be what's putting this love stuff into a little bit of opposition at the moment. Your someone you're involved with may have a little bit more of a traditional approach, and be a little bit what's the word, scared, or just put off a little bit by you wanting to focus so much on career stuff. But take it as it resonates. That does feel as though that may only be a very, very small portion of you, and it may be only even one person that this gender role stuff around the career. It's like there's a feminine energy that's very career focused, and the partner is very unsure how to feel about that, because they're a little bit more traditional with the way that they feel about the gender roles when it comes to career. So just keep that in mind, okay? Especially if that is you that's resonating for. But that attraction card there, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So that just reminds us, just enjoy what's going on for you at this current time. Not, no need to sort of stress too much about things at this current time. Just living in the moment, enjoying the moment a little bit there, stopping and smelling the flowers and just appreciating, what you've currently got going on, whether that's good or bad or, whatever. It's just giving you some space to just be at the moment here. Anything else Gemini needs to know in regard to love, please? Why are we seeing that? Why are we seeing that, please? Just clarify that energy, please. Okay, so we do have the clouds followed by the fox, and I've clarified that with the child as well. So once again, I am picking up a little bit here on this, what I was talking about with the traditional values stuff, okay? The clouds does talk about, potential, just some sort of anxiety. Someone's overthinking this a little bit too much here. Misunderstandings between the two of you here when it comes to those value systems and, whatever that is for you, those factors, religious factors or traditional factors that are coming into play a little bit here. Someone is trying to, think very cleverly around this, but there may just be a little bit of a misunderstanding, because it's like the more that they think about this, the more confusion that puts them into. Whether this is you, I don't feel like this is you as much as your person here, Gemini. But just some fears of what's coming up there. But nothing too severe. It's being overcome with that child energy. New beginnings are working in your favor. Everything, coming through really with a sense of adventure, that this could just be part of the adventure. A very innocent kind of outlook on this thing is going to help, and easing off on the overthinking at the moment. But that's what we have for you today, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.